Good morning, this is Cheryl. I'm not ready for this. It's Sea Spirit Self-Healing. And I'm here to do my thought lesson online. I wanted to start with mentioning, I think the mentioned cancer, but it's Friday the 13th. And I was looking that up because I always kind of thought that was associated with an earth goddess type fear. But actually all I could come up with, I mean, of course, you know, there is some censoring on the internet, was that at the Last Supper there was 13 people at it. And one was Judas. And Judas left, and Judas betrayed Christ. Now, Judas and Christ had an agreement, from what I understand, that he was to betray Christ because it was time to end the Isis, Osiris eon and move into the eon of Horus. And that's the only way it was done. And you will also know, I mean, I know many people out there that do cards, study much into the Druidy, which I used to. I used to be so into the Druidic. But, you know, the Druids gave the Christians, you know, basically in the time of King Arthur or right after, because Guinevere was right a Christian, they gave them, well, actually even the one on Avalon, they gave them the church places on the ley lines where they crossed. So it used to be that every place a church was built, its altar was on a ley line of the earth, and therefore a power intersect. So, you know, they've created much fear and propaganda about Friday the 13th and movies and no 13th floor elevator. Except when I was a kid in Houston in high school, there was a band, a Texas band called 13th Floor Elevators. How about that? There's a blast from the past. If you add the numerology up today, it comes to a 9. And I would well consider 9 a number of attainment. So where we left off yesterday, and I'll have to do a little bit of reading, was, remember, we had the Knight of Swords, not fully baked, but partially baked, assisted us on the journey down into Scorpio with the Queen of Cups, with the Prince of, what was he? A Prince of, oh, he's right here. Heir of Water, Prince of Cups, okay? And we had, and on both days we had the blessed 6 of wands for energy. And we ended up yesterday, at the end of the day, or at the end of the reading, with the High Priestress. And I'm just going to read through a couple things. This card represents the moon, the Priestess of the Silver Star. Now, I didn't catch that yesterday when I said it. The Priestess of the Silver Star. The power and mysteries of woman in its most spiritual form of Isis, the Eternal Virgin, clothed only in luminous veil of light. I am too telling the truth, my throat chakra. They're still trying to keep us down. So the soul of light, and how she makes that grail by raising her hands to open the veil that we may feel our grail. So that was yesterday, okay? Now we're going to move on to today. The cards I chose today, and I'm going to do something on the goddesses. I don't know if I'm going to do it right now. It is coming on holiday season, and my house is in, I have a small apartment, and it is kind of in a state of disarray, and some of the things I want could be away, but then again, I might get in there and get a Christmas thing out, so I might be in there. This is, I didn't know this goddess, Elin of the ways. Elin, throughout time we have followed the herds, followed the roads, followed you, followed our divine guidance. All our divineness is linked to nature. You know, our rhythms are the rhythm of nature. And where we've gotten so out of beat, and which they're trying to even push more now, is coming into the cities and living one on top of each other. So in this new age of fire, we need to cope and adjust with that, but we need to learn the rhythms of nature. even if that's standing on your balcony watching the moon. Why did I choose this goddess? I chose this goddess because she matches the middle card somewhat, and that's a bovine, and it's kind of a feminine counterpart on her way. The Actarian symbol I came up with, or that came up, is confidence. Confidence. So we will travel to these new paradigms, these new ways of knowingness and beingness with confidence. And that just, there's a shadow, isn't it? But that, no. There is a shadow. But that will imprint in your brain the sacred geometry. Okay. Today and I'm going to have to do a little reading before, because I can only take like this. This deck is so alive and so active. The only other deck I have this will, well, the Unfortunate one is alive and active, and then that Deviant one, it's active. So after leaving the High Priestress, we come upon the World card, or here called the Universe. The Great One of the Night of Time, ruled by Saturn, Saturn exalted. It's also an Earth card, Earth being the element. And I'm gonna read this all, and I'm sorry. I hate to read online. I hate to get out a guidebook and read, but I have to read the notes I wrote down, because I wrote Crawley stuff down, and it's just not in my head yet. It gets better each day. I pick up something else. Treat time and all conditions of event as servants of thy will, appointed to present the universe to thee in the form of thy plan. And blessing and worship to the prophet of the lovely star. I almost didn't write that down because I didn't understand it. But I would say this is the mighty star right here where we were yesterday. So we've come, we've leveled up some. We've come into some more knowingness. We've expanded our paradigm at this point. Completion of great work in its highest sense. The Fool is the negative issuing into manifestation. The universe is that manifestation, its purpose accomplished, ready to return again to the Fool. There's, once it gets up here, I can't see very well. It's got a Vesics of Pisces here, of which light is streaming. And I don't know about what that black is. The Vesics of Pisces there, and then the whole thing is a Vesics of Pisces, which, like I said, once again, with Callie, the whole thing, like this would be the hymen back into the female universe. Though I believe this figure is Morphodite. And, of course, the 4 elements. So, somewhere when we visited the High Priestess yesterday, we leveled up some. We changed our thinking patterns, thought patterns. We expanded our paradigm. We leveled up. We leveled up some. And so our next step on the journey here is the Prince of Disc comes to us. I am so sorry about the glare. Now, I have on a light, but this glare is coming from the window somewhere. Okay, this is the heir of Earth, or the Prince of Disc. He's 20 degrees Aries to 20 degrees Taurus. So he's fire-colored. He's got the source to move with spirit, move, fire moves. And he's also got the bull there, the earthy bull. Heir of Earth. And air can stir Earth up a bit, be it a cyclone, even a hurricane, because actually the water is of the earth, but the air, they're not usually real compatible, I don't think. So change the world with their great energy brought to bear on the most solid of practical matters. Inside this here are seeds of which he's taking off to plant. And here he holds the earth and the grid lines. See the grid lines on the earth. He has a cross on his scepter and it looks like a bull on his crown. And he's naked. He's coming full forth honesty. Okay, change the world with their great energy brought to bear on the most solid of practical matters. He's not a snob, but he doesn't bother with the impractical. He's competent, he's ingenious, he's trustworthy, he's cautious. He constantly seeks new uses for common things. So here we're getting a little bit of grounding back after going to the High Priestress and completing the loop of the world. Now, in our realization, it was a 12-12 gateway yesterday. Did anybody notice anything different? Any higher elevation of beingness, of realizations, of prophetic dreams? But anyway, here we continue on our practical journey with the Prince of Disc. And the third card we come to is the Ace of Wands. Okay, this is the Prince, with the Princess of Wands being the throne. This rules the part of the zodiac of Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. So actually, we started after we did the universe, we came right back into Aries, Taurus, Miss Gemini here, but Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. So that's quite curious. Essence, root of the power of fire. The root of the power of fire. Essence of element of fire in its inception. Its solar phallic outburst of flame from which spring lightnings in every direction. The whole tree of life on fire. Like I say, the book I have is very short and I can only take so much. So I basically write down just either Lady Frida Harris's responses or Crowley's directions or quotes. But like I mentioned yesterday, how so much of this is about the hymen and the phallic. This is the masculine complement to the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is the yoni and the moon. The Ace of Wands is the lingam and the sun, are the phallic. So I think that's pretty exciting that we can move on with great confidence. Because after visiting the High Priestress yesterday, is that like visiting a card slinger, huh? After visiting the High Priestress yesterday, I'll see if these are reversed or if they work. We had a completion of a cycle. We had a completion of a cycle here. And now we have the will and the firepower to move forward, to begin again with this Ace of Wands. And like I said, this goddess, I just have her far the way. Maybe as a female counterpart here to finding the way in a balanced way, though this guy sounds pretty well balanced. So it's a very short reading today. I don't know. I might put up another one or two. It just seemed my readings were going so long, but now that seems like that was so very fast. Well, I guess not. 14 minutes and 10 seconds. Allow me to draw you one more card that says alignment. Is that what that says? Alignment. Affirmation. I align now with the vaster presence, which is my true self. I'll acknowledge I am more than I have seen myself to be. I now seek to become more. Alignment. Seeking to become more. Ready to go back, not quite ready to go back to full status though. We just came through a little intermediate loop, I would say. So, if you sat through this, I thank you so very kindly. I'm teaching Thoth, and I don't know it, so I just kind of move along through it, but the best way to learn is to teach it, they say, so I'm giving that theory credence, and my guides are making me do this. So, have a beautiful, beautiful fall day, holiday day, and may the goddess bless. I watched Wonder Woman last night, and what was the last line? It's all about love.